Good morning. It's your lawyer's favorite lawyer coming to you live from my office. I know y'all say, well, geez, I haven't seen you in your office in a while. And definitely haven't seen a Motivational Monday this early in a while. And come to think of it, I haven't seen a Motivational Monday in 3 weeks. I will let you know this. There are often times in which I get inspiration. And when I get inspiration, I want to share those things with you. But until I get it, I don't have it. And sometimes that's just part of it. But this week, I had the opportunity to experience some things, and not only experience some things, but also watch someone else experience some things. And it was just amazing because in life, there are times in which you find out and see what you're made of. I know you're looking at the title and saying, well, what does that have to do with Steph Curry? A lot of you know his wife made a statement that even though, and I'm paraphrasing, even though I have the world, or even though I have all these things in life, I have my own cooking show, I have my own pots and pans, I have a beautiful set of daughters, I have a great husband, I have the opportunity to watch basketball, I have opportunity to do all of these things in life, and these are wonderful things, but I often miss, or sometimes miss, getting attention from other men. Now, think about that. This man's wife says that on Monday. On Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't remember when the game was, he has to go out and play the game. And so now you have all of this distraction, all of these things going on, and he has to face it. Now, keep in mind, he knows he's a public figure. He knows that the actions he takes in private can become public. Statements he says in private can become public. He has to factor all of these things in. It reminds me of a famous Jay-Z line. If I shoot you, I'm brainless, but if you shoot me, you're famous. In other words, he's saying, because of what I have going on, the decisions I make cannot even be equivalent to the decisions you make because of the amount of prestige and who I am and what I have going on, the business decisions I make, the notoriety, the public figureness. So I can't even make certain decisions. So Steph is stuck with not being able to say things that he might want to say to his wife, things that he might want to say publicly, things that he might want to get off his chest because his ego and his manhood is challenged at this point. Like, I give you the world, I give you all this, I do all this, and I lay it down in the bedroom, and you gonna say that BS. You didn't hear that from Steph. What you heard from Steph was he supports his wife and appreciates her honesty. Even if that's not what he felt in private, that's what he said publicly. Now, you still have social media going crazy. You still have people, shooting at her for saying that. You still have people shooting at him for not responding a certain way. I mean, social media is just coming down on him, and he has to play Game 5. So he plays Game 5, and at this point, he can rely on Clay, Draymond, KD, and then KD goes down. And so he still has his distraction from the world. He has the issue with KD going down, and it's Game 6. So now, dealing with his wife stuff, that didn't go away. That just, he blocked it out for a little bit, but it's still there. So social media is killing him on that. Then the commentators with basketball are saying, basically, this is KD's team, and he may not be able to help them win because he's been having trouble shooting. And so Steph's just having a rough week, Game 6 comes around, he digs in, figures out who he is and what he needs to do, goes out, and everything that he was trying to do goes wrong. He picks up 1 foul, 2 foul, 3 fouls. He can't hit a three-pointer. I mean, it's rimming out. Then he can't hit a layup. I mean, he's missing easy buckets. He actually has, in the first half of Game 6, 0 points. Now, think about everything in his mind. His wife wishes she had some attention from some other dudes. He can't carry the team like he used to because now it's KD's team. You have all of these things going on in his mind, and all of a sudden you just see him put that towel over his head and just sit there. See, this is the time and this is the moment that anybody in the world would have gave that man a pass. Everybody would have said, out of all the stuff he had going on, we're going to give him a pass. But when you know what you're made of and you know what you're capable of and you know what you're here to do, you don't need a pass. What you do is you dig in and you look yourself in the eye and you say, I know who I am, where I'm from, and what I'm capable of. And sometimes you got to tell yourself who you are. And once you remember that, then you come back to life. Now, here's the deal. Sometimes, or let me say this, every superhero I know at some point is vulnerable. Batman gets his backside whooped. Superman gets hurt. Even the Hulk. Everybody has a moment in which they're down, they're hurt, and the world needs them to get up. And if you look at Steph, see, Kerr was very intelligent. The coach was very intelligent because there was a time in the third quarter that he left Steph in by himself and took Clay out. So now the only scorer that was on the floor was Steph, and he had no other option besides to score because Kerr knew if we're going to win this thing and if we're going to win it overall, we need to get Steph back going. And so now this man, in the third quarter, went a goose egg, first time in his career having 0 points. And he's in the game by himself, no other scorer to throw it to, nobody else to bail him out, and he has to just start doing what he does. So he hits a layup, and then he hits a floater, and then he shoots a three. And you just start to see it coming. You say, oh, there you go. There you go. And I remember saying, once I saw that first layup, I remember saying, Houston, we have a problem. Because if Steph Curry comes alive, there's nothing you can do. So this man dug in after all the distractions, out of all the things, out of all the talk, out of everybody looking at him, out of everybody giving up on him, after him being down and knowing the team relied on him, he got up and did what he'd been doing his whole career, what he knew he was going to do, what he knew he was capable of. He knew who he was and scored more points in a half in the same game that he scored 0 points. So in other words, he had one of his best halves of basketball in the same game that he had his worst half of basketball because he knew what he had to do. He knew who he was. He never gave up on himself. And this is what I want to tell you. You think because you have some issues, you think because you may have broke up with your boyfriend, lost a job, children are embarrassing you at school, whatever your issue is, you think because you have that small little mistake and that small little embarrassment and the world's looking at you and that gives you a pass to shut down. It doesn't. It doesn't. Who gives a damn? Get up and do what you're supposed to do. Get up and do what God put in you. Get up and show the world what you made of. Nobody gives a damn that you made 0 points in the first half. Show them you can hit 50 in the second half. You don't have to be what people think you are. You don't have to be what the world says you are. You don't have to bow down to the distraction. You know who you are. You know you're a superstar. Thank you for listening. May God bless you. And I will see you next week with Motivational Monday. And I can already tell you what my subject's going to be next week. My subject's going to be in that moment. Because a lot of times we make mistakes and we mess up our lives in that moment. And I want to tell you how you got to look at that moment and what you have to reflect on in that moment. But thank you for listening. May God bless you. I'll see you next week with Motivational Monday. It's your lawyer's favorite lawyer, Jimmy Morris.